The greatest myth in the WNBA dump has officially been exposed. The myth of all myths, the deception of deception. For the better part of 2 years, maybe even 3 years, the mainstream media has been trying to convince us that Angel Reese is a huge star.
The fact that Angel Reese shot 30.9% from the field and didn't even make the top 10 in the All-Star voting may have something to do with the fact that she became the face of the WNBA. Statistically, one of the lowest scores among the league's qualifying players.
Well, the first returns are coming in on the WNBA All-Star voting. Of course, it will be in Indianapolis. And as you can imagine, Caitlin Clark is leading the All-Star vote. By the way, it looks like a massive turnout.
Please continue to vote for Caitlin Clark and the rest of the Fever in this year's All-Star Game and comment below with the phrase baby goat over baby giraffe. However, Caitlin Clark wasn't only participating. With more than 515,000 votes, she was leading the polls and leaving Rhee in the dust, seemingly unaware that the voting had even started.
Be honest. Second straight year that Clark has led the fan voting. She was second in early returns in fan voting in 2024, but jumped to first with around 700,000 total votes by the end of the period. So I'm wondering, are we going to see 1 million votes this time? Because I saw somebody earlier that said so far, voting is actually way up versus exactly where we was at this time last year.
And the plot starts to unravel at that point. Why are fans voting for Rhee if that's the name that everyone is pushing? You can't even launch a social networking app because Angel Reese has been so successful lately. Let's face it. Whether you blink during a commercial break or pass an advertisement at a bus stop, she has become the most visible 30% shooter in modern basketball history.
Caitlin Clark has 3 times the amount of votes. 3 times the amount of votes as Angel Reese. So, there you go. I suspect Sophie Cunningham's numbers are going to grow. After what we've seen, somebody said, I saw some things online about they sold $1 million worth of Sophie Cunningham jerseys, and something in the neighborhood of 12,000 all went out one day.
Media outlets did more than just cover Angel Reese. They nearly made her a case study in branding, with sports shows casting her as the league's savior and Forbes calling her the WNBA's development engine. Caitlin Clark was out here nonchalantly sinking 30-footers and breaking attendance records as if it were just another Tuesday, but some of these articles didn't even mention her.
Some in the media even do investigative journalism and claim that Angel Reese is the face of the WNBA because she leads the league in followers on social media, along with missed layups and a complete lack of athleticism. Of course, the vast majority of her followers are bots and lonely men, most of which are not buying tickets or watching her games on television because they can't afford the 5 pesos a month to watch the Chicago Bravado on WNBA League Pass.
And everyone in the league was on board. Reese's highlights were being promoted on the WNBA's social media platforms as though she were the next big thing, providing her the kind of television time that most celebrities could only hope for. She was everywhere, promoting herself as Angel through sponsorships, interviews, and podcasts. Rhee told the Globe that she was the reason people were watching Bold Claim, even if those viewers appeared more interested in seeing someone else. She also embraced the idea that she was being scheduled like a Marvel movie.
Hi, Angel. David Moses with the Bigs Media. Last year, you made a powerful statement saying the reason people are watching women's basketball is not just because of one player, but because of you too. A year later, do you feel like you're
Next question. Yeah, we'll move on. Thank you. Move on to Zoom.
Because Rhee talked about legacy while Clark made one Caitlin. When it came time to vote, the supporters let the numbers do the talking and allowed Clark to dominate the polls while Rhee hardly made an impression. That's a reality check as much as a surprise. Clark had superstar-level numbers, not just good ones. Fans are looking for results, not just charisma.
There's a supposed, people keep telling me, supposed second most popular player in the league that doesn't look like the second most popular player at all. And in fact, a rookie I have been touting that is playing better than Angel Reese, Kiki Arifin. Well, basketball fans are showing up, and they have got her voted ahead of Angel right now. Angel is not in the top 10.
And that disparity clarifies why votes were not generated despite all of the enthusiasm surrounding Angel Reese's appeal. Caitlin Clark was out there posting box scores that were worthy of notice while Ree was trending for tweets. Clark's highlights made him popular. The fans understood the distinction between being popular and making an impact.
According to Forbes, Caitlin Clark is not responsible for elevating this turd into the mainstream. The ladies responsible for elevating the WNBA are Angel Reese and the unknown face of the Las Vegas Anonymous Faces.
Despite neatly leaving out Clark, Forbes, in all its journalistic expertise, praised Ree as a key factor in the league's rise. In the end, Caitlin's name was at the top of the ballot because of her performance rather than hype, and this kind of narrative creation is ineffectual when fans are creating the next chapter.
Enough to tell you where Angel Reese's place is. Well, it's 13th place. And I can tell you right now, Jonquel Jones ought to be ahead of her.
This is a litmus test for trust that extends beyond basketball. Supporters would rather pick their own candidates and decide for themselves. Despite the presence of the media, endorsements, and marketing funds, they concluded that Reese did not place in the top 10 or even near to it when they saw the All-Star ballot. They passed when it came time for the fans to vote.
Angel Reese is the most unskilled basketball player in the history of basketball, in my opinion.
This isn't just a popularity battle, so let's take a look at the numbers. Even though Ree is snatching rebounds, shooting 30.9% from the field, especially as a postman when layups aren't exactly all out, makes it hard to convince people that you're an exceptional player. Star conduct.
There is obviously no way Angel can compare to Caitlin Clark as a shooter or a passer. And there is no way Angel can live up to her dynamic social media / podcast presence as a shooter or a passer or even a shot blocker. She's blocked only 2 shots so far this season. She doesn't even do that.
A deeper examination reveals that many of those are what people are calling me, even if her admirers highlight her rebounding figures. Let's not forget that Reese had her chance during the 4-point game versus the Fever, and she played poorly. That is the content that receives memes, not votes. Bounds learns from her mistakes. Efficiency is still crucial in this league.
She has energy. She has an attitude. She'll rebound you the basketball. Great. Nothing else. She has not. She's got self-awareness. She knows that she's not a very good basketball player.
In 2025, when both rookies and veterans are putting up double-doubles without the help of a video crew, you won't be competitive if all you have to offer is rebounding and empty swagger. Although she stays active and fights for rebounds, teams prefer players who can defend, score, pass, and make free throws when it matters most.
They continue to talk a good game instead of being about a good game. This is fan voting. This is literally vote for who you are a fan of. Vote for who you're a fan of, or vote for who you think is most worthy. Vote for who you're a fan of. Vote for who you think is most worthy. Vote for who you think are the stars in this league. Angel Reese fans, you guys aren't fans of her? You don't think she's most worthy? You don't think she's a star in this league?
Let's discuss fan connection as well. Arenas became Caitlin Clark's personal stage angel, and she transformed skeptics into believers. She earned a crown. She didn't request one. She delivers when it counts, is relatable, and remains composed under duress. Ree keeps using low percentages and loud confidence in the interim, which isn't a recipe for popularity, but rather for disputes on Twitter. If the goal is to draw in new fans, you need to give them stars that really sparkle, since this league is desperately trying to grow its fan base. Clark is attracting fans, filling the seats, and lighting up the scoreboard by doing that. Since Rhea is bringing in a lot of missed shots and broken backboards, this is the conclusion. Performance output and showing it when it counts are the main objectives of All-Star selections, not who has the most Instagram followers or made the boldest statement at a press conference. Caitlin Clark has shown herself, Angel. Whereas the other player is discovering that media attention cannot lead you where buckets cannot, the former is transforming the league with every pass and three-pointer. It appears that Rhea is still looking for her fan base and her chance.
Not only is the self-proclaimed Barbie not in the lead, Angel Reese isn't even close to making the top 10.
Let's match up Angel Reese with some of the top all-around forwards in the WNBA. Aaliyah Boston, for instance, is a two-way threat who shuts down opponents in addition to scoring points. Her complete bundle received almost 447,000 votes from her followers. Kiki Erie is accumulating double-doubles like it's her day job, in addition to receiving over 213,000 votes. Fans are eager to vote for these players because of their versatility, which allows them to touch every section of the stat sheet.
7, 8, 9 on the list are Kelsey Mitchell, Sabrina Ionescu, and Lexington Hull. The following three are Kiki Arayafin, Kelsey the Plumber, and Satu Sabali? You mean to tell me these unknowns are ranked ahead of the face of the league?
Even if you concentrate on Reese's great features, it is difficult to ignore the evident shortcomings. Even if she competes for position and hustles under the basket like her lunch money is on the line, rebounding alone does not make a player complete. The WNBA, according to analysts, is a league full of threats with a variety of skill sets, and players who focus only on one area risk becoming one-dimensional. Reese is a player that hasn't yet reached equilibrium, as shown by her stat line. Unless she gets better, her ceiling will stay firmly capped.
Lexi Hall, 217,000, and there is Kiki Arafin, 213,500. She's averaging a double-double, a legit double-double, with a good field goal percentage. Angel Reese, well, wait a minute. I thought it was about you too. Everybody's watching because of me too, except everybody's not watching because of you too. I mean, guys, if the ratings ain't enough and the attendance ain't enough and what happened at LSU ain't enough and all this other stuff ain't enough to tell you where Angel Reese's place is, well, it's 13th place.
Rhea is a force on the rebounds, but her poor scoring and lack of offensive impact keep her from being seriously considered for an All-Star. This brings us to the WNBA's central query: what exactly counts as an All-Star selection? Rebounding could make headlines, but fans clearly want more, so let's look at what the voters said.
So even right down here, the Mirror's calling out Angel Reese. As for Reese, one-time All-Star from last year in a rookie season alongside Clark, who appears set to earn a second honor, has struggled in 2025. 23-year-old, notorious for her rebounding supremacy, averages 11 points, but the Sky are 3-8. And she's shooting like, I don't even know what she's at now. It's probably less than 35%.
The voting process is simple to follow. With 50% of the vote, fans have the most influence on the outcome, followed by players and the media with 25% each. They chose to pass on Angel as a result of that impact. In contrast, Caitlin Clark garnered an astounding 516,000 votes, which was far more than Reese's 173,000. This is a vote canyon big enough to accommodate a halftime show and a plot, not a vote deficit.
Let's see. Fan voting runs through the 28th. Culmination of fan voting, 50%. Player votes, 25%. And media votes. Oh, that's going to be where Angel Reese makes her move. Media votes, 25%, will determine the All-Star starters. Looking right at you, CBS. You still ain't released the rating.
Despite months of constant exposure positioning Rhea as the league's breakout star, fans said no thanks. The All-Star vote is intended to measure popularity, peer respect, and media momentum. This outcome demonstrates something deeper than just preference. Clark, on the other side, lived up to the hype with sincere performances, clutch baskets, game-changing plays, and unmissable moments. They assessed the game purely on gameplay, so they weren't swayed by the headlines.
Nafisi Collier, who is probably the leader of the MVP pack right now, is at 485,000. Aaliyah Boston is third, 447,000, as she should be. Aaliyah should get some MVP conversation. I'm going to be honest.
If you look at the other 10, the message becomes much clearer. Not because she is flashy, but rather because she is dependable and powerful on all sides of the court. Aaliyah Boston garnered nearly 450,000 votes. Collier, the Defensive Player of the Year the previous season and the frontrunner for MVP this season, garnered more than 500,000 votes. Fans are choosing personality over spectacle and content over showmanship. Simply put, Reese's figures don't add up.
I know Kelsey Plum is likable. She's a lovely lady, but you mean to tell me she's more popular than Angel Reese? The same Angel Reese who has been begging, and I mean begging, people on social media to vote for her? Angel Reese, number 13 on the list, 173,000 votes.
Ree leads the league in rebounds, but her one skill is insufficient in a league that rewards versatility. Fans aren't duped. They want players who can defend challenging assignments, stretch the floor, and lead their team in crucial situations.
Didn't shoot a single free throw. Although she did have 12 rebounds, her average, which does lead the league. But a couple of times Angel drove it and flung up just these wild shots from 3 or 4 feet that missed the rim by, 3 or 4 feet. Just looked so ridiculously awkward, like she'd never even played basketball.
More than her performance, Reese's growth has been driven by her character, from garish branding to viral sound bites. Fans are clearly taking notice of more than simply a memorable phrase, though. The fan vote has exposed this disconnect as the league and media overreached themselves by endorsing a star before the data backed it. Proven contributors like Clark and Boston were chosen over Ree, regardless of how much she was featured in ads or highlight reels. What does this indicate about the WNBA's future star development strategy? This is enlightening. Fans will not line up if you engineer a superstar or place their image on a billboard. Instead, people watch the games, read the data, and express their own opinions that differ from those expressed by the media.
These numbers are 100% accurate, and Angel Reese is the 13th most popular player in the WNBA. This probably means she will not be a starter in the All-Star Game, which would make sense because Angel Reese shouldn't be a starter for a regular season game.
This vote sends a message not just to Angel Reese, but to every player in the league who wants to be an All-Star. When it comes to consistently getting votes, it is more crucial to have the biggest impact and have followers pay careful attention than it is to have the biggest personality. This vote altered our perception of WNBA stardom in addition to rearranging the All-Star roster. The fan reaction is a reality check, even though Reese may still have the media attention and endorsements. Reese's public image and in-person reaction have officially divided the All-Star voting results, demonstrating that empty hoopla is no longer acceptable. The WNBA cannot ignore the fact that the All-Star selection process has evolved into a platform for what fans truly value, and that they are being told exactly what they want in players who deliver it every night, not just in sound bites or ads. The All-Star selection is a portent of things to come, not a coincidence. If Rhea is to be a true ambassador of the league, she will have to demonstrate her abilities on the field as well as her looks. To ensure you don't miss anything, please vote for Caitlin and the rest of the Fever in this year's All-Star Game. Remark below that baby goat over baby giraffe. Click subscribe and turn on all alerts. See you in the upcoming video. On the screen, click the video.